Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Erica from Division of Program Promotion, Kampa Campus. Welcome to our webinar today. Glad to see you all here. Today's webinar in conjunction with Utah Cyber Open Day. Our Cyber Open Day started from 8 to 30th of August from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, the Cyber Open Day has almost come to the end, but you may still contact us for program inquiry or for more information. Well, today's topic is about faculty preview, Faculty of Arts and Social Science. Ms. Baseline Darina from Faculty of Arts and Social Science, Kampa Campus, is our speaker today. She is expert in criminology and sociology. After the topic sharing, there is a Q&A section. If you have any questions, please click the Q&A button below the screen here. Due to the limited time, we may not able to answer all the questions. Only the selected questions will be answered. For information, Zoom is our main platform. At the same time, we are live on our official Facebook page, which is Utah for You. If any of your friends are yet to register in Zoom, do join us at Facebook page Utah for You. All right, without further delay, let's welcome our speaker, Ms. Baseline.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm a lecturer from Department of Public Relations, and today I will give you a preview of what are the degrees and programs that we offer in our faculty. We have 3 different programs catered
Okay. Due to the technical issue, Ms. Baseline has offline now. Please hold on for a while. Before that, please. Hi, Ms. Baseline, are you here?
I can hear you.
Yes. Please share the screen.
Can you see it now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Where was I just now? Oh, the arts degree. All right, the arts degree actually focuses on the English language, and we have 2 programs under this particular degree. The first one is what we call as English education. So this English education actually prepares you in terms of teaching methods, teaching approach, techniques in order to make you a better educators. We will provide you a very fundamental basic and concepts that includes on delivery your lesson efficiently, right? And the highlight of this particular program is basically to teach you a real life, give you a real life teaching experience. And not only that, we allow you to have an in-class activities, we also sometimes broadened your skills as well as your exposure into outside classroom activities. And sometimes if the department were to have any programs that related to English education or teaching to outsiders, right, or schools in Kampa, we also recruited students as helper, so that it will be able to give you a glimpse on how to actually conduct a real classroom environment and management, right? And throughout the semester, you will be having a lot of activities that really focuses on educating pupils, right, or educating the school's children. Some of the activities that have been conducted continuously because of the popularity and demand of schools, particularly in Kampar area. Reading campaigns, they will have drawings competition. They also have creative writing production, as well as camps that catered to learning of English. All right. The other program that we offer is a Bachelor of Arts English Language. This is the program where we teach you how to master the English language in order for you to write, in order for you to communicate in English competently. And the proficiency of actually learning as well as communicating English is widely used today, especially it becomes when this particular English language become what we call as a global language, which unite everyone's together. All right, so basically this program will allow you to venture into any sectors of the industry. You can actually work, or you can actually emerge with the industries such as in law, in business, in politics, education, media, entertainment. Because of the universality of that particular language, therefore you will be able to emerge in all these particular sectors, right? So basically for English language, the command to use English properly and as well as proficiently, that will be the focus of this program. The other degrees that we offer is on communication. For communication, we actually have 3 different programs, and these programs has their own uniqueness, right, on its own. The first one is advertising. So for advertising, if the focus would be on persuading people, or how do you learn to influence people to accept your product, to accept your item, or how to actually communicate with the larger public in a persuasive manner, right? This is highly influential today because I think a lot of the youngsters, especially all of you, are very much into social media. So going into the field where you'll be able to persuade people and become influencer, as well as having all the skills, right, in editing, in producing material, will be a good program for you, for those who wants to major in advertising. All right. We also updated our program to fulfill the latest technology, especially in terms of gadgets, especially in terms of software, especially in terms of social network, social media component, right? So we incorporated that into our program as well. So what is the highlight of this particular program? The highlight of this program is that because every semester you will come out with a creative work, you will come out with artistic work, a certain product, a certain design, right, that will become yours, right, due to the assessment or the assignment requirement of the course. All this particular material can later be included as your portfolio. Because usually in an advertising field, when you go out, the first thing that will ask, okay, can you give us your CV as well as your portfolio? So all the things that you have created and designed, accumulated during your 3 years of study, can be considered as your portfolio. So this is one of the important things where we actually make you ready, right, for you to become young advertisers. All right, the other program that we have is on journalism, right? The word journalism is self-explanatory, and most of the time we think that journalist is just to report news and just to convey news, right? So our program are designed in such a way that it will teach you how to create, how to receive, how to investigate, how to attract people to your stories using both traditional as well as non-traditional methods in media trend. Right, the most important component that we incorporated for this particular program is also on the multimedia platform, multimedia content, right? So we incorporate this multimedia content, therefore, to keep abreast with the industry, right? One of the highlight of this particular program is that we also teach you how to do social media news broadcasts, which is highly important today, right? A lot of the netizens or a lot of our public these days focus so much on what's going on in social media. So creating news in social media and provide you that particular platform and facilities to do so is the highlight of this particular program. Right. The other program that we have is on public relations. Right. For public relation is basically where you become an intermediaries between your company as well as the public or the society as a whole. Right. So you become this what we call as the middle person. Right. Your task is basically building this mutual relationship. Right. The organization might want something else, or the society might want something else. So you will bring the two ideas together so that both of the parties will be satisfied, right? In our program, we will teach you more on how to provide information to the media. We teach you how to do news media. We also teach you how to do audio-visual presentation, which is highly important today because the normal presentation might sound boring, but then again, with audio and visual, people are engaging towards your presentation, right? We also teach you on how to organize press conference the right way, right? We also teach you how to do exhibition. We teach you how to do events, which allows you to work with different stakeholders, right? And these stakeholders are outsiders, right? And we able to give you that particular platform to work with this society. Right. The highlight of this particular program is that we able to merge the two platform together, which is the sorry, not platform, the approach, which is the professional approach as well as the research approach. Right. If you look at our communications field, you cannot run away from research because we have to do or research, or we have to know our public what they want. So in public relation, we provide those two particular approaches. So professionally, which is linked to the industry, we provide you subjects like courses like, for example, event management, where you organize your entire event. With those with research, right, or those who want to pursue academic line as well as to do a research regarding your event, we give you a final year project, which is a purely a research base where you can study issues, right, in the communication field, right? The other highlight of this program is that we have our own student chapters that relates with the accreditation bodies in public relation, which is we call as in IPRM, International Public Relation Malaysia. All right. This is the accreditation board. That means, right, if you want to become a PR license, it's not license, it's a PR practitioner, a pure PR practitioner, right, with a certain license, you have to undergo this particular association to obtain that particular license provided as a qualified PR practitioner, right? So we have that affiliation. Therefore, student will be able to get a glimpse on how to become a professional PR practitioner. All right. The other degree that we offer is on social science, right? Okay, knowing the word science and social there, it shows that this particular programs, right, tailored so much on how to give a systematic information as well as how to provide you with accurate and evidence-based information. All right. For this program, for this degree, we have two different programs. The first one that we offered is on Bachelor of Psychology. All right. Psychology is basically the study of human mind and human behavior. So if you are the kind of person who want to know about why certain individual act in certain way, right? Why there are normal behavior, why is there abnormal behavior, why people act differently, how do they interpret a person's feeling, how do you see the person's actions different from one another. So this will be your field of study, right? And this program has a very enhanced as well as well-equipped research foundation, right? Where they do have a strong foundation on researching all the psychological issues, right? And we provide that particular platform, right? Like I said earlier, when it comes to word science, it has to be a systematic way for you to present a certain information. And having the facilities to do so, we'll be able to create that particular emerging program that suits the society needs as well. The highlight of this particular program is basically we able to give you a platform whereby you can actually go into a diverse area in psychology, right? Because it is a very general program that allows you to go into become a psychologist where you require to work with children, become a psychologist where you required to work with abnormal behavior, right? A psychologist where you work with industry or you work in the company has a human resource division, right? So we give you that glimpse here and there, and become easier for you to go into several sectors, right? Same like what we call as arts. This particular degree will allow you to go into multiple and diverse sectors as well, right? And as you know, when it comes to human being, we are everywhere, right? The other course that we have is guidance and counseling. So guidance and counseling is a specialized area, even though it parks under the big umbrella of psychology, but it's a specialized area. And this particular program is where you reach to the inner part of an individual, all right? Asking them what is their problem, unlocking their possibilities, all right, and solve their problem for them. So it's more like reaching out to them, right, helping them, right, in solving their inner problems so that they will become a better person, right, in that particular sense. The highlight of this particular program is that we have the affiliation with professional bodies we call as PERKAMA, or Malaysian Board of Counsellors, where when you undergo this particular program for 4 years, right, you immediately after graduate, you will become a licensed counsellor, right? This is the only program that we have where the duration of study is 4 years. The rest of the program in FAS duration are only for 3 years, right? Because of the special license that we included in the program, therefore you'll be able to get that particular privilege. All right. So what do we have to offer? I guess that will be the questions that will goes to your head when it comes to choosing what you want to be or what program that you want to learn. So our faculty approach in targeting the new generation or the Generation Z applicants, which basically all the youngsters these days, right? We focus on 5 components that we think is able to attract you, right, to enroll in our program, right? So our program curriculum, our program assessment, our program facilities are all comprises of these 5 components, right? Okay, the first of all, you guys are the digital native, right? Those people who you know, when you were born, the era of internet, the era of gadget, the era of social media, they are already existing, right? And it is enhancing every year or every minute, so to speak, right? So in order to prepare our program to gear to in education 4.0, or what we call as industrial revolution 4.0, we have developed courses, right, that lean towards the digital platform, right, in order to suit the age, right, as well as the adaptability of the Gen Z applicants. All right. For example, if you look at courses that we offered under programs for English education as well as English language, you can see that the content-wise, even the word that they use involve using either digital as well as technology, right? So let's say, for example, in terms of e-matters and literary production, right? This is the course that appeal to your creativity sides, right? For example, I think all of you these days, you like to write on your social medias, right? Either you upload a story or you upload a certain status, or you created a certain writings or posts in your social media, right? So this cater to that particular side of yours. So we make it into a course where we will teach you how to creatively write your stories or things that you want to write, right, using social media platform, right? So of course the famous one, because this one talks under English language or English language program, right? Activities like poems, like short stories, right? These days we have digital short stories and everything, right? We'll be able to teach you on how to write this using the platform provided. For example, how to write in Facebook, how to write it in your Twitter account, or how to develop the entire blogs for your own. And it can also be considered as an e-portfolio, right? Again, a lot of the courses that we offer will allow you to put it in your portfolio, so that when you go to apply for work, they will see something, right, in your CV. All right. Educational technology, this is very, very practical and useful in today pandemic era period. Okay, all of us are supposed to adapt with online teaching. All of us are supposed to with force has to deal with the online teaching, right? So we have to experiment platform. We have to find ways to make you engaging. We have to find ways to make you be able to understand, as well as deliver our teaching accordingly, right? So method like, for example, blended teaching, where you combine the two, physical as well as online virtual teaching out there. We also teach you how to do flipped classroom. We also teach you how all the basically the technologies that ever allow you to deliver your lecture virtually, right? The other subjects that are very interesting is new technologies for language learning. This one is where you will learn how to develop interesting applications, right? Interesting way to deliver learning of English, or of a teaching of English, right? Like for example, these days we have a lot of apps, right, on how to use language. Even there are so many apps, right? So this is one of the platform that we give you. So this is the way that we do to keep abreast with the Education 4.0. All right. For advertising, right, we focus so much on digital advertising. We focus so much on the Internet of Things, as well as the specialized, not specialized, the unique part of this program. We also include this photography for commercial design, right? For digital advertising per se, okay, like in today pandemic world, it was a big issue whereby people are not going out. They cannot see the billboards, they cannot see the banner that we hang out like previously due to the MCO lockdown. So all this company, they have to change their way in delivering that particular product, right? So what happened was, there were so many people at home, and they changed their way, right, into TV, right? So Prime TV has become skyrocketing. They use a lot of social media platform, right? So it's no use for us to build a banner when no one's go out, because everybody is at home, right? So this is a way for us to teach you how to adapt with the technology. So this is what we call as digital advertising, right? So photography in commercial design, even though with a lot of this application where you can edit, manipulate your pictures, right? But this course will teach you on how to use the lighting accordingly, how to use color accordingly, how to create it, your advertisement, so you have this impact presence to people, right? Of course, putting Internet of Things, which is highly applicable today, because everybody are connected and everybody wants to feel personalized towards that particular message, right? Last time we can just send one message and people would say, oh, okay, it's nice. But nowadays, everybody has different perception. So we have to appeal to this individuality in order to create that personalized message to mass appeal, all right, mass production, okay, all right. Journalism has been developing their multimedia content of the program, right, in putting quite a number of element from fourth industrial revolution. For example, I'm sure some of you will be familiar with the word big data, right? Where today it becomes such a big thing, right? Where we have so many information, but how to use that information accordingly, how to read this particular information. And knowing journalists, having all this information are very important. So they need to be able to classify all this information. They need to be able to read this particular information in order to create a good story. So data journalism was created in order to fulfill this particular needs, right? So here we have the data mining. We also include the component of big data in teaching our students, right? Multimedia content production is more towards this visual content, right? A lot of us, we like to go online to read newspaper and appeal to the younger generations where they like audio visual. So a lot of the newspaper these days, they created visual content, right? Visual media content. If you go for any online newspaper, you will be able to see it. So this is what we call as multimedia content production, right? And to make things interesting for this particular program, they also include what we call as drone journalism, right? This is part of their course we call a multimedia content production. So when you become a journalist, you are entitled to places that can be dangerous or that can be harmful to you. So how are you going to collect that particular story? So how can you see or capture the picture of that particular story? So using drone to capture all these moments, like for example in crowd places, right, will be able to give you some sort of safety, will be able to also reduce costs because you don't have to go directly over there and risk your life and risk other costs or other expenses, right? So using this drone journalism is a very engaging towards gearing to education 4.0, right? In public relation, we have one course that call for social media and public relation, which is highly used in public relation these days, right? I think everybody is turning into social medias, turning into social netizens, right? So here we provide you in such a way that to use this social media accordingly. How to use social media, how to choose the right platform to the right target audience, how to create a message that can be eye-catchy, that can instantly capture the people's attention, right, in social media, right? So this is what we call as social media for public relation. This is highly digital native, highly for IR revolutions, okay? The other component that we include to make sure that we keeping abreast with the industry is the course we call as corporate social responsibility. There is no company that could ever exist without CSR program or corporate social responsibility in today's world, right? Because every company value reputation, and the reputation of a company also depends on how we give back to the society, right? So adopting this corporate social responsibility makes your company become much more credible to the eye of that particular public, right? So this is highly used today, and changing our way from with this pandemic from a physical event or physical activities into a more virtual like is something that is very important for today, for our program, adapting in our program today. All right. For sociology, for psychology, they tackle quite a number of issues that's highly discussed in our society today, right? So for example, because there are too research based, they come up with a course they call contemporary issue in psychology, where they appeal to their research part, right? They will give you a systematic way on how to research the issue, right? What kind of test, what kind of assessment that you should do, what kind of solution should you provide, right? So the issues that they discuss are basically on human differences within human behavior. They also include the neuroscience, behavior neuroscience component, because today what we do also goes back to our biological, to our physiological component, right? The interesting course that they have developed is what we call as positive psychology. It sounds like a very happy course, which is highly important today, because for example, due to this pandemic, a lot of people having problems, right? Internal problems in terms of our life, for example, how we think, right? Our mind, right? So it's very difficult to, and also with the rapid pace of change, right? And the undetermined change that we are facing today, right? Being happy, right? Achieving this happiness and achieving life fulfillment, right? Achieving whether we are satisfied enough, right? This is something that the course would offer, right? Has it named, being positive psychology is in a way to how to actually live your life to the fullest, how to actually build your mental, right, to be healthy, right, in that particular sense, right? Those two programs are basically in Bachelor of Psychology. The Bachelor of Guidance and Counseling, they focus so much on this mental health issue, right, which is highly denoted today, right? I think we should really look into this particular matter seriously, okay, because it's not just a small thing. It's such a big thing. If you're not mentally healthy, then it depicts it become an obstacle to your entire daily conduct, right? So they come up with this course we call HAS assessment. This is a very scientific way for us to determine what kind of mental health issue that you encounter, right? And what are the treatment that we can give you, right? And also appealing to this global or diverse practice or diversity in our society. They also come up with multicultural counseling competency where they address issues based on different people, right, or different culture, right, different sexual orientation, different belief, right? The words culture sounds very encompassing towards differences of a society, right? So as you can see, we have developed courses that actually gearing towards this industrial revolution in adapting to your digital native component. All right, the best way when it comes to teaching under the RMCO period in Malaysia, right, we be able to utilize the online teaching platform. And not only that, we able to connect with people globally now more than we had before, right? So one of the things that we have included in our courses, right, are webinars, right? We schedule or organize talks within our course. Like for example, the courses that include invited guests from different parts of the world, right? Talks about how that particular courses appeal or a specific content of that particular courses appeal in their country, as well as share it in their perspective, right? For example, crisis communication, right? We have a speaker from abroad that talks about it. It's actually in a course called crisis communication as well, right? For Prof. Dr. Michael, right? He came for he conducted a webinar for our research method class, right? So he's expert in that particular research methodologies. Therefore, he share his session with the students, right? And not forgetting the students, we also take into perspective what you needs, right? Your needs, your appeal, sorry, not your appeal, your needs as well as your perspective. So we collaborate, right? So for example, here we have collaboration between Utah student and UUM student. Take a look at how do they feel with the online teaching, right? So when we get their input will be able to enhance our program as well. Okay, the other thing that we do to target the Gen Z applicants is definitely on hands-on approach, right? It is because, like I said, the practicalizing what you do or put into practice what you do is very important to the younger generation, because they are the audio visual individual, right? They don't like to be cooped up with this theoretical component. They want something that they can see, something that they can make sense. So our approach on hands-on would be focusing on three components, right? We have facilities, we also have practice platform, we also have outside classroom learning, right, that we catered to you for in our program. For example, for English language and English education, we have we provide a facilities where we have English lab, right? These are for EL student mostly, right, where they want to create apps, they want to create software, they want to learn how it was done, okay, by utilizing the commodities that we have, the English lab. And for English education, we also set up this what we call as micro teaching lab, because it's not easy for us to utilize just the classroom or go to school in order to conduct this teaching environment. So we create a lab for you where you can feel free to conduct a real life lesson or real life classroom. It's a way for you to manage your class and deliver your lesson as well. All right. For advertising student, we have their workroom, right? So this particular workroom, they have 3 different workrooms, right? The first is the iMac lab, and this iMac lab are filled with software which are highly used or highly recommended by the industry. So what the industry requires, the software that industry required, we do have it in our iMac lab so that it will be familiar for them. So when they go out, they'll be able to use it immediately, right? Not to be taught on how to use it, right? The other one that we have for advertising student are the studios, right? These studios is basically to cater to the artwork, right? Some of the courses, because they focus on design, right? So they will have this particular platform, right? To create their artwork, to do their drawings, right? In a comfortable environment, okay? The program also emphasizes on the photography component, so we provide you with the photography facilities, right? So you will learn how to become professional photographer. You can direct them, you can ask them to do, you can choose your own model here, but we provide you that facilities, right? So all these are done in order for you to familiarize, right, with what are the things that you will do in the industry later. Right, so these are the hand-on approach that we accommodate to our students. All right, journalism also, we have our own journalism studio, right? So this journalism studio will allow you to create news or create work with news reporting. You can become news presenter. You can also become news production. All right, it is actually built a path for you to be to act professionally, right, in real life setting later, right? And we also have this social media news video which we encourage these days based on the multimedia content, and they'll be able to utilize the facilities, right? The cameras, right? For example, the famous DSLR will also be provided. Both advertising as well as journalism student can do. I'll give you an example on how our students utilize based on their utilize the facilities based on their assignments, so you'll be able to have a glimpse on what actually our students are doing in the program.
Hi, Miss Marceline. There is no sound from the video.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Prosperous Lunar Year Fair, organized by University Tunku Abdul Rahman PR students. Organizers also raised money for a good cause. Let's have a look at the scene.
3, 2, 1. Prosperous Lunar New Year Fair is officially launched. 1来了。
In celebration of the Year of the Dog, Kamparans young and old have all gathered in Kampar, Kintatin village to participate in Prosperous Lunar Year Fair, organized by University Tunku Abdul Rahman PR campus students. The 2-day event started from 10th February till 11th February. While here, they participate in fun and cultural activities and games that focuses on Chinese New Year themes, such as Chinese calligraphy competition, May blowing competition, Chinese fan drawing competition, children coloring contest, and Chinese poems recitation by children. Fun aside, organizers say the event carries a more important message.
当然，我们这主要的这个 objective 呢，还是希望 publicize 我们自己本身就是 UDA PR Campaign 2017-2018-2016。当然，我们还要的就是制造一些机会给这些 vendors 在这边摆摊做生意。最后，我们还是会希望能吸引到一定的人潮来支持我们的活动。
Personally, as a PR lecturer, I think that this is a very successful event because the team, especially the sponsorship team or fundraising team, they managed to cater this place. because it's not easy to cater for this place. And as far as I'm concerned, it's quite expensive. And they managed to get this place and to get a lot of crowd to attend. Some more, now people are very rushing, hectic for the Chinese New Year. However, they still managed to handle this event here. For me, it's very successful and it reached the objective. Second, I think that this event is kind of a benchmark to the other students to reach the society, to make sure that people know about UTAR. So for me, again, this event is very successful and I'm very proud with all of the events today. Thank you.
Besides that, hundreds of participants were all hyped up by the spectacular performance given by Malaysian uprising star Lee Pei Ling, Mir Nash, and Ning Ke Sing. Performances were also given by PR campaign students themselves.
We're just playing our part. Remember the days we met, when we thought there's nothing to stand in our way. Troubles and sorrows, struggles.
I'm very happy today because there is a lot of fun and a lot of food stall performance and a lot of interesting events.
As you can see from the back, it's very crowded right now and everyone's having a lot of fun and it's time for me to have fun too. And I here now wish every one of you happy Chinese New Year and lots of luck in the year of God. Fatin Shahira, JON News, back to the studio. Moving on to the next news. When it comes to libraries in Kampar, the first library that comes to the
Alright, so this is the example of programs that we do. Okay, as you can see that the JR student also captured some of the essence of the PR students' activity, right? So they covered one another in that particular sense, right? So this is the example of the social media news video.
Cerita apa? Kat sini dia orang kata ada orang Jepun pancung kepala orang. Dia orang cerita ada hantu, Ghostbuster lah. Orang cakap ada lah kat sini tapi tak tahu. Dia orang kata ada macam-macam bunyi.
Right, as you can see, right, we really do send our student out so that they will be able to have a real life conduct of their program or their professions. Right. This is one of the practice platform that we created for the journalism department created for their program there, whereby this particular student online news portal was actually created, was actually maintained, as well as content creator all comes from the student. They are the editorial teams, right? So this will be able to give them hands-on practice on how to platform. All right, for psychology, we have counseling community center, and this particular counseling community center is actually open to the public, but it's also very useful for our students because the students can actually observe the licensed counselor, those teaching staff that we have here, has in managing their client, right? They'll be able to see the real life environment, how a counselors, right, as well as psychologists conducted what you call it, sessions with their clients. All right, psychology, as I say, is what we call that program with very much on evidence-based program, okay, that allows you to use research as a basis in giving people the results, saying that why you actually has that particular anxiety or why do you have that particular issue, right? So we equip the program with technological facilities that allow you to combine the scientific way of delivering your assessment or delivering your result. Right. Another approach of our hands-on is definitely on outside learning classroom. Right. On outside learning classroom, for example, in advertising, we invited speakers from outside. We asked them to create workshops. We asked them to provide a sharing session. Right. So this is a good way for the society, for our students to keep in touch with those industry players and ask them questions about, what do they expect, right, in that particular field, right, currently. Right. If we cannot invite them, then we can go directly to them. So field trips are very much popular in our programs, right, has outside classroom learning, right? We visit relevant industries in order to get their perspective. Right. For advertising, they do a lot of exhibition, right? When they do exhibition, that means the students are actually exhibit their artwork, right? And this exhibition of artwork to the public will allow them to learn about how to accept public criticism, how to accept organization, how to manage their exhibition, right? All these are done by the student itself, okay? All right, another one is English language and English education. So we have this linguistic expo and exhibition. This is where our students will learn on how to create certain models, certain activities, and these models and activities are actually being being delivered with participation from schools in Kapar, pupils from schools in Kapar, right? We invite them and then we create an expo where they can learn English language. They can learn how to be educators, right, in a lively environment, right? Not just sit in our classroom, but then again, we do things outside so that we give them a broader horizons. All right, for psychology and guidance counseling, also we have talks, we also have workshops to various industries, right, which is relevant for them. And they also conduct activity modules where they design certain activity, where they design certain lesson, right, and they do it in schools, in one of the subject called educational psychology. So it requires them to do all this particular activity and test this particular activity, right? Again, field trip is considered as one of the important platform on outside classroom learning. All right, for experiential learning, or what we provide experiential learning, whereby we allow the students to experience a real life organize a real life practice, right, or to have a real life practice approach, right? So they are the one who plan, they are the one who execute, they are the one who will do all the necessities, promotion, looking for sponsorship, right? So in order for them to know what actually been going on in the particular industry per se. Okay, so for this experiential learning in our course, in our program, we have public relation campaign, and this campaign actually caters to the development as well as the growth of university as well as a Kampa community as a whole. Right, so this program allows you to have what we call as providing a societal impact towards creating certain awareness. When it comes to the names volunteerism, meaning that we look into how can we reach out to the society, how can we transform the society into becoming a better place, right? So this public relation campaign actually was highly acknowledged, and it was actually a small event in the campus, but it has transformed into a bigger event whereby it comprises of Kampa community. And we actually do one award for this particular public relation campaign, which acknowledged by PR firms or PR companies. Right, and it was acknowledged by one of the highly acclaimed PRCA or PR consultant agency in Malaysia to all excellence in PR activities. Right. Because of the success of that particular program, right? Activities, it continuously to develop, and now we have what we call as public relation event management, and this is the brand that we have created, right? This Wow Kampa brand is actually a brainchild of one of our a group of students, right, or the batch of students that focus on Kampa tourism, right? They focus on how can we give back to the Kampa society, because they allow us to use the space in order to create our university. So in order for us to acknowledge this, we wanted to help them in that particular sense. All right, for this particular program, we collaborated with a lot of NGOs. We collaborated with the Kampa officials. We also collaborated with Kampa district official government, all right, in order for us to conduct the program. And the first Wow Kampa actually is conjunction with Perak Tourism. So we do discuss things on how to promote this particular place, specifically the Kampa area, right? So this particular project will be able to tell the students on, how to be empowered with their own program, how to be empowered with their own project, how to conduct their project, what are the issues that we deal with, right? How to get people to come to your project, how to get people to sponsor to your project. So all these are done by the student. So they are the one who experience everything from the very beginning to the end of that particular activity. All right. So this is some of the pictures that you can see portrayed here, and this particular event, this particular Wow Kampa activities actually focuses on the economic development of Kampa, on the education part, as well as social demands, right? So what are the things that we require? And you can see it's very diversified, right, in that particular sense. Right. Again, we do won an award for this public relation event management, which is the Wow Kampa 2017, and we managed to get 3 awards out of it. Right. So it shows that our students really work hard, really in line with the industry protocols, the industry needs, where we got acknowledged, and their hard work are actually acknowledged by PR practitioner and PR agency, right, in Malaysia. All right. Again, the Wow Kampa 2019 came back, right, because of the success of the earlier program. And this 2019, we focus on acknowledging, celebrating the 10th anniversary of Kampa to be, as a district. So again, we promote this particular Kampa environment, right, to the public, right, just as a way to give back to them, right? One of the things that that highlight of this program was definitely the Mention Award, where we actually talks about, where we actually introduce, right, the hard work of PR outsiders who wants to be PR professional, and they come from various groups of people. And one of the applicants able to win because of a very good PR practice at a very young age. All right. We also provide community engagement in our program, right? So this is very important for social science, because we are working in a society, we are actually focuses on society. We are focuses on humanity. So community engagement is very, very important today. In our faculty, we have one course specifically tailor-made for this, right? It's under public relation, and we call it corporate social responsibility. They did this semester, they did it online because of the pandemic, and you can see they are focusing on issue like economic, like for example B40. They are focusing on issue like social, like domestic violence. They also promote tourism, which is highly important, right? And they're focused specifically on Kampar. They also focus on the latest sustainability, like recycling, not forgetting tackling the recent issue, which is the use of face masks. You can check their Facebook or Instagram to see some of their activities conducted, right? So these are the activities, they did it online, right, this semester. Okay, they did it online platform, right? They, even though we are MCO, but they are being guided with a strict SOP on how to approach the people, and with a protocol, with permission and everything. Right, so the sharing session as well, bringing the issue, the social issue to the society is also very important, which is highly conducted in corporate social responsibility. All right, this is conducted last year because earlier this year, before the MCO begins, right, where we actually go and visit, and there are a lot of activities conducted. We provide activities for the old folk homes. We provide reading knowledge in order to successfully focus on education, right, or the value of reading. Right. Another community engagement that we have is an English camp. Right. This English language where students actually created activities to get people, school students' attention on how to learn English interestingly. Right, so because people say, oh, English is very difficult and whatnot, so they created an activity where they can be done lively, where they can be done in an engaging manner. And this program is also conducted, organized, as well as facilitated by the student themselves. Right, the MCO doesn't stop them. Right, they make full use of the online platform, so they do continuously create an English camp. All right, we are very well connected with industry players. Okay, we have Anchor Corp, whereby this Anchor Corporation will give us advice on what are the needs of the industry. We also have technology. We also have software or skills that they required. So journalism has quite a number of Anchor Corporation, and they do come and help us with workshop or talks when we need. All right, this is one of the example, the mobile online journalism, right? So this is very important. It says this is where they created the multimedia content as well as data journalism course, right? In order to be abreast with the society. All right, for psychology, because they are very much research-based, so their Anchor Corp are also tailored into that particular path. Like for example, UNHCR, they give funds towards research in refugees. So even students can apply for this, and staff can also do so. Right? We have LPI for Learner Inventory Personality Test. Right? We do it for free for our students, but if outsiders, they will charge. I think that the charge will be around 300 ringgit for it. Public relation, we are anchored with PR firms, and these PR firms are very much helpful, right, in providing us advice about our courses. And recently we have webinar where they talks about, what's going on in the public relation due to COVID-19, and we have experts talking about what's going on in public relation when they reach 4.0. Right, for Anchor Corp, for English education at Wesley International School, this is where we send a lot of our students for internship. They also give us workshop on this 21st century learning. They also give us workshop on how to use technology advancedly in our lesson. Right, Millennium Software focus on English language. Right, a lot of our alumni, right, actually do our internship, as well as some of them end up working there, right, in teaching or learning that particular English, or creating an English content activities. All right, so what are the career that you can expect, right, for FAS? Basically, if you are the kind of person who love imaginative, like to construct something and have a passion for education, arts will be your best bet, right? Because it will be able to develop imaginary content that is well imaginative with the use of English language, right? You will be able to develop modules or lesson. You'll be able to catering to people's needs in order to educate them better. So this will be your platform, right? If you're the kind of people who are adventurous, you like new things, you like to be creative, you do not like mundane work life, you like flexibility, you like to mingle around with people, having a lot of interaction, then communication will be your best field, right? Where you help to reach the public, where what public relation do, you help to inform people with what journalism are doing, and you're trying to influence people with your ideas, is what advertising are doing. So being tactful is also very important in communication field. So if you're the kind of person who, you know, like to be patient, good in managing diverse information, or good at complex issues of human being, right? A very good listener. Psychology, guiding and counseling will be your best career in that particular sense, right? So these are the career prospect. As you can see, a lot of the career prospect focuses more on content creator. Like for example, in education, they will go to the education line, right? They go to content creator like English language also in that particular sense, but creative writing will be their area of work, right? Some of our students are working with the two anchor corps that I've mentioned earlier, right? In communication, they are going into different areas, particularly with the advance of social media as well as the advance of the technology these days. A lot of them are going into that line, right? And we have some of our journalism students working in RPM, Astro, working in Malaysia Kini as reporters. There are some of them working as photography or owning their own photography studio, right? Same goes with public relations. We have quite a number of people in the diverse industry, right? We have those working with public banks. We have those people working in Heineken. We also have quite a number of students working in Huawei, either in KL, in different parts of the world, right? There are also some of them working with media, news portal as well, right? For psychology, there are those people who involved with human resource recruitment. They are case worker whereby they focus on, you know, helping people to reach a better life, right? And for educators, special needs educators, like for example, working with autism children, right? This requires specialized skill. They are also consultant where they actually created tests, right, to see what kind of issue that you've been dealing with. And corporate trainers are basically to help the company, right, becomes engaging in that particular sense based on to work efficiently. All right, do you have any question?
All right, thank you, Miss Marceline, for the sharing. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, before we proceed to Q&A section, there's a link in the chat box, or you may scan the QR code here for the evaluation form also. Kindly fill up the evaluation form as your feedback is important to us. All right, so, okay, if you have any questions, please put in Q&A button below the screen here. All right. While waiting for the questions, I would like to ask Miss Marceline, just sharing with you lah. I actually meet some of the students and parents. Then they are actually confused about corporate communication and public relations, English language and English education, and also psychology and guidance and counseling. So, Miss Marceline, would you like to share with us the differences for the programs?
All right, thank you. For corporate communication and public relation, actually they come from the same umbrella, but the difference is that when it comes to corporate com, it's more towards a general communication industry, where they focus so much on the internal aspect of the company, right? Internal communication of the company. Right, so they focus on the company relations, right, the relationship between the company and the employee. So, and also the external part of the company, yes, as external parties, but not so much. When it comes to public relation, this one is more specific field, right? This one is very specific, and although they focus on the internal as well as external parties in terms of communication, but they have a wider pool of audience, right? They will have the media, they will have the entire society, they will have the government. So their stakeholder or their parties involved are very much highly compared to corporate communication. For psychology and guidance and counseling, for psychology, because our program given, the programs are very much general, so you can actually have a glimpse of which area of psychology you want to go. For example, if you want to specialize in autism, right, children, you go for abnormal psychology. If you want to specialize on children development, you go for developmentalist, right? So it's a more bigger program courses. But when it comes to guidance and counseling, it's basically a very specific, right? So when your job scope is basically a counselor, a registered counselor. So your work is very much limited to providing advice, providing or helping the people to come out from a bad situation, right? But for our program, like I said, it requires you to it gives you a certain license, right, in that particular sense. Right, so that would be the two differences between psychology and guidance and counseling. And also for English language and English education, English language is to learn the English language, how to master the English language, right? You will learn about, how to use, what is actually that grammar that you always talk about, right? So how to use that particular words. But when it comes to English education, is we teach you how to become English teachers. Right, so we teach you how to get to become an educators in English, right? For example, we teach you how to teaching of grammar, right? Instead of learning the grammar, we teach you how to teach grammar. So that would be the differences.
Okay, thank you, Miss Marceline. Okay, I think every one of you are more clear on the programs that Miss Marceline just explained just now. All right, I saw there's a Q&A from someone actually is asking, is working in PR field allowed me to work from 9 to 5?
No. if you are not the kind of person, right, that 9 to 5, PR field won't be a most suitable choice for you, because PR work around the clock according to our company, according to the situation, right? So we will never know when the situation will occur. Like for example, in the pandemic, right? Suddenly do something, they have to deliver the information to the public, right? So 2 o'clock in the morning, you have to get up, right? There's no way you can work 9 to 5 because it's a very demanding work, right? And you work with various parties, and these various parties, I don't say that they don't care, but then again, it is a fast-paced industry.
I see. Okay. Okay. There's still another question. Is COVID-19 affect the future of PR?
According to the industry players, they are more busier than ever. They said that it doesn't affect them because they're becoming more busier, right? For example, the turnover rate, right? They have to come up with plans how to ensure that their employees are well guarded, right? And then what about the new industry? For example, the equipment like hand sanitizer, face mask, they are all blooming now, right? So they all want people to acknowledge this, right? So they say that they are busier than ever. The change that they have was that now they can freely use this online platform, right? Previously, perhaps you have to go and meet them, right? Now they can utilize, which makes they have to work 24/7, right? So there's no changes for them. It's much more busier than now.
I see. Okay. Is there any questions from the audience? You can put it in our Q&A button below the screen here. All right. Okay. All right. There's a question. Is advertising a stressful career?
Advertising. All right. So if you are the kind of person who like creativity, you're the kind of person who like to challenge your mind with new things, right? I guess you should be ready for advertising, right? The only stressful that I can say is the deadlines as well has to equip with what your client wants. So that is more towards human communication and how you manage that particular communication and that stress. So I won't say it's a stressful career, right? It can become an interesting career if you are in it, but dealing with a human part of it that can become stressful. But then again, that one is human communication. As long as you talk it out, then you should not have a problem. So I won't say it's a stressful career.
All right. Thank you, Miss Marceline. I think there is no more questions from the audience. All right. Thank you, Miss Marceline, for the sharing section. All right. Before we end, please allow me to have a quick introduction of UTAR. Okay. For information, UTAR have 2 campuses which located at Kampar, 170 kilometers away from KL City, and Sungai Long, 24 kilometers away from Kuala Lumpur City. Okay, besides that, as you can see from the slide, there are totally 10 areas of study that we offer, which are accounting, business and economics, actuarial science, mathematics and process management, agriculture and food science, art and social science and education, Chinese studies, creative industry and design, engineering technology and built environment, information and communication technology, life and physical sciences, and also medicine and health sciences. Okay, so there are actually various of choices for you to choose. Okay, next, for information, we have about 95 to 97% of graduate employability rate within 6 months after graduation, which means most of our students are able to get a job within 6 months after graduate. Also, the university currently offers more than 100 academic programs from foundation study to bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees. Besides that, there are more than 70 student clubs and society, and UTAR has graduated over 64,000 of students since convocation in 2005. Okay, all right, today's webinar has come to an end. Thank you very much all for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy it. So tomorrow, same time, we'll be having a webinar of faculty preview, Faculty of Accountancy and Management. If you would like to join us for other webinar, okay, do register at study.utar.edu.my. Also, if you have any inquiries, you may reach us at Facebook UTAR for You, WeChat UTARNet, and also you may contact us at 016-2233-557, and you may email to us at enquiry@utar.edu.my. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow. Bye. Have a nice day.